So you want your videos to look a little cooler, but not in a flashy, over-the-top way. You just want your shots to feel more intentional, more cinematic, dare I say it, and honestly just a little less boring. Lucky for you, I am an award-winning filmmaker, which means I may have a slightly inflated ego. But hey, I picked up a few tricks along the ways, and these days, I'm just like you, nerding out with a camera in my bedroom, trying to make stuff look cool. So let me show you 10 creative angles that will make your videos stand out, even if you are filming by yourself.
You gotta just press record.
Number 1, the dirty frame. One of the easiest ways to make your shots instantly look more cinematic is to shoot through something. It could be a plant in the foreground, you could use your computer monitor, or even shoot through a doorway. This is called a dirty frame as it creates depth and adds texture and makes your setup feel way more organic. Because we're adding layers, we're making our space feel more like a real environment and less like a sterile YouTube studio. So ask yourself, what can you shoot through that adds character to the scene without it being distracting? One of my favorite ways to use the dirty frame is anytime I'm showing off a laptop tutorial or editing, having just the computer within the camera frame just gives that extra context that you can see what's happening on the computer, and I think it just looks nice. It's definitely a subtle thing, but it helps the audience feel more grounded in your space. Here's another example of a dirty frame. Here on the left side of the image, we have this bush here, and then I'm sitting on the right side. Kind of adds a little bit of contrast. You don't always have to be in the middle of the frame. You know, it can be nice to add a little bit of foreground, leading lines to your subject. So this is the top-down shot. This is perfect for tutorials if you're showcasing all your gear. It almost gives you like an objective, godlike view. Now, in order to pull this off, it is a little bit more tricky. You're gonna need some equipment. If you have a tripod that has the center column, some of them actually like boom out like I'm doing with this Manfrotto tripod. You could use a C-stand if you happen to have that. But you do want to make sure you do this safely, weight things down with a sandbag, or else you don't want your camera to be falling on your face. A more practical example of when to use a top-down shot is things like unboxings for product reviews if you're showcasing off gear. If you're an artist, you can showcase your sketching. This really goes a long way to give your video a very organized, clean aesthetic to your video. Fair warning though, if you plan to use this top-down A-roll for your video, you could risk falling asleep during the middle of your take. I could actually just do all my future videos like this, you know, just make it easy. Okay, that's enough of this. Let's get out of it. Number 3, push in or pull out. Now this one might be a little bit dramatic, but a push-in slowly draws your viewer toward you. It's a great way when you are making a point or need to change subject to something really important. Then a pull-out shot can create a more distance or closure to whatever point you are making. One of my favorite uses of this shot is anytime that I have B-roll that is maybe just shot on a tripod and it's just static and a little boring, you can really spice things up by adding in a subtle zoom or zoom out. And this is a great way to have some change in your camera frame, and that will keep your viewers paying more attention. In order to pull off this effect, you will need to set your camera on something like a slider and physically move your camera closer to you or further away. I like this motorized camera slider that I have, and oftentimes I'll use it for product B-roll, but this is a great smooth way to get those push in or pull outs. But if you don't have a camera slider, you can actually mimic this effect in editing. In DaVinci Resolve, you can use the tool Dynamic Zoom, and you can set your in and out points, and you can have a smooth zoom into your video. And again, you can reverse this to have a pull out. I love using a push in shot anytime I need to convey that something is very important. You are literally leaning in and trying to hear what is being said. Number 4, the wide shot. Wide establishing shots are such a great way to showcase off your environment. I think a lot of us are stuck to thinking elbows up in terms of framing, but just getting a nice wide shot to showcase off your environment is such a cool way to spice things up. Anytime you go between different locations, starting off with a wide angle to showcase off your environment Just a great way to show people, hey, we're in a new spot. This is what it looks like. This is what the vibe is. So definitely starting off with a wide shot or for transitional elements, I think is a great way to reset attention too. It's a little bit different than just your typical head and shoulders kind of vlog. Just setting the camera on a tripod a little bit further away, getting some distance. It's a great way to showcase off your environment, even show off your fit if you want to do that. Better yet, if you have a drone, that's such a cool way to get such a cinematic point of view. I don't have a drone, but there are some times I do want a drone shot. And when I do, I go to Storyblocks, today's sponsor, for that shot. With Storyblocks, you get unlimited access to a massive library of high quality stock footage, all for one predictable subscription price. They've got everything from 4K footage, motion graphics, music, sound effects, and more. I use Storyblocks anytime I need backgrounds, overlays, or B-roll that I can't go out and shoot myself. It saves me so much time, and it's definitely a resource I recommend to every creator. What's even better is with Storyblocks, you're supporting real artists, capturing stories and emotions from creators and talent that AI just can't replicate. So if you want to improve the storytelling of your videos with unlimited stock media, then go to storyblocks.com/thinkmedia or click the link in the description down below. I'm beginning to regret coming out here in 91-degree weather, but I had to show off this shot for you guys. It's so cool. Now, sometimes the best way to complement a wide establishing shot is to do the complete opposite and go in tight. Extreme close-ups are where things get intense or even emotional. If you look at movies, all of the heightened dramatic moments are typically done in extreme close-ups of the face of the actor. And we can do the same thing for YouTube videos as well. One example is if you need to showcase that you are deep in thought, you could just get an extreme close-up of your eye. These kinds of shots pull the viewer into a single specific moment and really highlighting on that one detail. The way I think of an extreme close-up is you are telling your audience, hey, pay attention to this. And that is really powerful if you want to really highlight something that is very important. To pull off an extreme close-up, you want to get your camera as close to your subject as possible and possibly zoom in your camera lens if you have that. And that way you get a really tight, close focus of your subject. Number 6, the POV shot. POV or point of view shots are first-person storytelling at its finest. They literally let the viewer see through your eyes, and these are great for tutorials or walkthroughs or even showcasing behind-the-scenes setups. To do this, all you need to do is take your camera and hold it close to you as you are showcasing off an object. You can even mount the camera to your body if you have a GoPro, mount it to a helmet, mount it to your chest. And this is a great way just to show the viewer what it's literally like to be in your shoes. Number 7, over the shoulder. Over the shoulder or OTS shots are kind of how we view things when we're sitting next to something. It creates a very friendly look to your video, like it's coming from a second perspective. I like to use this shot anytime I need to showcase that I'm editing, maybe working at my computer. This is a great way just to showcase what it's like to be working side by side someone. In order to pull off this shot, place your camera on a tripod, place it behind you, and make sure that your shoulder and your head is slightly within the camera frame. The shot is perfect if you want your viewers to feel like a fly on a wall, like they're in the room hanging out while you work. Number 8, the low angle shot. Low angles make you look larger than life, and this is what we call oftentimes the hero shot. It gives you a sense of power, authority, of importance. You are quite literally looking up to me, and that says a lot about this angle. Now, typically when you're setting up a talking head video, you do want it roughly eye level, but you can definitely set it below. There's really no rules when it comes to filming videos. To pull off this effect, it's pretty easy. Just make sure the camera is below your eye level, and you can do it at different extremes. If you want a more subtle effect, you can raise it up. It's a pretty cool, unique angle. Maybe not for everything, but sometimes just changing the camera height can really give more weight to your message. So maybe try this angle next time you are trying to make a bold statement. Number 9, the high angle. High angles do the exact opposite. It's kind of like you're sharing something personal, talking about a failure. You are literally looking down on me, and that can create a sort of balance that I am less intimidating. You can use this when sharing something personal, talking about a failure, or having a thoughtful moment. In order to pull off the high angle shot, place your camera on a tripod, raise it up as high as it'll go, and point it down towards you. That way you are looking up into the camera camera lens. Now recognize that this may be an extreme angle, so you could always lower the camera just a little bit, play around with something in between to get a more subtle effect. Here, I lower the camera just a little bit and you can immediately tell the difference between this and the ultra high angle version. This is not a shot that I would use all that often, but could be a good style for the type of videos you are making, or if there is a particular video where you need to just be a little bit more vulnerable. Number 10, the whip pan. Okay, this is more of a camera move rather than a shot, but I think this is such a creative way to transition from location to location. All you have to do to pull off this shot is, once you're done with a take, just pan the camera really fast to the left or the right, and then the next shot that you do, quickly pan in again, and when you cut between these blurry moments, it creates a very smooth cinematic transition, and it just looks super cool. If your video's pacing is starting to drag and you're just looking to re-energize your video, this kind of whip pan is a super cool way to kind of reset the tempo. So those are 10 creative camera angles to spice up your videos. Let me know in the comments down below your favorites, or maybe there's one that I didn't mention in this video. And if you are struggling to be more confident on camera and want some practical tips on how to feel more confident, then check out this video right here. I know you'll love it.